back, Scrub. How are you? Welcome to At the Tap End. This is At the Tap End, week 5, take 2. I think it is. We were just live about 30 seconds ago, but it went off some internet challenges. When you mix water, a back scrub, and the internet, I'm not sure things work as effectively as they should. So, without further ado, I think it is time to see who is at the tap end today. Hello there, Isi Dixon. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Very good. Welcome. Welcome to At the Tap End, and you are actually at your tap end, are you?
I am literally at my tap end. I can feel it in my back. So thanks for having me at the tap end.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll try to make sure that we don't cause you any unnecessary pain and chat for too long. But for those people who don't know who Isi Dixon is, who is Isi?
It's me.
Yeah, it is. How have you got to the tap end today? What's your journey? How have you got there?
What's my journey? Well, journey is started in Vienna. I'm originally from Vienna in Austria, and I now live in Nottingham. So that's the journey part, sort of the actual journey part. I am sort of for a job. I help people get more done in their workday, so they can get the evenings and weekends back with the help of time management and productivity tips and hacks and stuff. And I'm a productivity coach, so I help people one-to-one, but I'm also a workshop leader and a speaker, so I do the same for groups. It's all really personalized. I always try and make whatever I do really personalized. I don't believe in one size fits all. Everybody's different, and what works for you is not going to work for me, probably, and vice versa. We all have our own journeys, our own way of doing things, and
Yeah, perfect. No, thank you for that. So, I guess you've used the word productivity and how you help people become more productive. When did you realize? Are you productive?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I am not naturally super efficient and super organized and super productive. I had to learn the hard way, which is why I know it's a skill that can be learned. And I'm still learning every day. I'm still figuring stuff out. Again, I said a minute ago, it's different for everybody. It's also different throughout your day, your week, your life, because sometimes something works and for some weird reason it stops working. So you got to figure out something else that works. So yeah, I am a work in progress, and I still procrastinate, and I'm still, every now and again I'm late, and every now and again I double book myself, and it happens, and it doesn't make me any less of an expert in my field. It just means that I'm a human.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that's really important, isn't it? Because you see a lot of social media stuff, and everybody likes to portray how perfect they are and how good they are, and all of the influencers. It's all perfect. But I think we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all procrastinate, like you say. We all do things wrong. We all make mistakes and failure. So no, that's really. But what does productivity mean to you? Is it?
To me, it means, so I mean, I deal with personal productivity. So it's not about manufacturing and time motion studies and all that sort of stuff. That's not me. That's other experts. I leave that to them. To me, it's a set of skills that help me and everybody else I teach them to get the most out of their day with whatever they want to get done. So whether that is being really successful in business, having fitting everything in that you want to fit into a day without completely overwhelming yourself, with still having time for the fun stuff. And that's also fitting the fun stuff in, and fitting the family time in, and the friends and the going out and the hobbies and whatever else. Just making sure it's a good balance and still getting all the important stuff done as well. So a bit of a juggling act.
Yeah. When did you realize you could help people?
It's been something that I've always been good at. I've always been trying to find a quicker way, find a better way, much to the detriment of my mum, who is the kind of person, this is the right way you do it, and this is the only way you do it because this is the right way to do it. And I've always been, yeah, but if I did it this way, it'd be quicker. Yeah, but then that's not done properly. But same result doesn't, yeah, that kind of thing. So I've always been a bit like that. I've always tried to find a quicker, better way to do things. And I've always shared that. I've never just kept that to myself. And I've learned quite early on that I'm good at conveying information. I'm good at teaching stuff. Because I try and make it easy, because that's how I understand it too. I'm trying not to make it complicated, because why? It's not meant to be this great big secret. It's just a skill that I've learned, and skills, like I said, I'm constantly still learning, that I'm sharing. And why make it more complicated than it needs to be? There's no point.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge that you see people have?
The biggest challenge is usually thinking they all need to do, excuse me, they all need to do everything themselves, and wondering why they can't get everything done. They simply have too many things going on in their day, and delegation doesn't seem to be in their vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's probably, especially with small business owners, getting from the I need to do everything myself, because I know everything about my business, so how can anybody else know that? There is that side. In the beginning, it's a case of I can't afford to pay anybody else to do it. Fair enough. But as soon as you can, what can you outsource? And that's the difficult bit, the letting go.
Yeah.
Somebody else will be able to do it. You will have to tell them and show them and how to and all that. But they can still do it. They can still help you. And yes, it takes a minute to teach them, but then they'll be probably quicker than you, because they don't have all the other things that you need to be doing.
Yeah, I love that. How do you get somebody though, is there to let go?
Gentle prodding and pushing.
Yeah.
I am a wife. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And it is just a case of, if you want me to help you, you need to listen to what I say and at least try it. If it doesn't work, fine, but at least give it a go. Otherwise, I can't help you.
No, completely. Everybody's got a reason that they reach out for help and stuff, hasn't it? And I guess they've overcome that themselves because they're reaching out and asking for help. If you had to give some productivity tips that are generic for everybody, what tips would you share? How can somebody who's sat watching two people in the bath today be more productive within themselves?
Well, apart from lots of tips, one of the biggest one is probably the myth of multitasking. Don't believe it for a second. This sort of, women are so much better at multitasking than men. No, we're not. It might look like we are, but we're actually not. No human is good at multitasking. We're good at switching from one task to the other. We cannot do multiple things at once that require concentration. So we can all run and listen to a podcast, or get on the stationary bike where just the legs are working and we don't need to think about it, and still write an email if we've got the thing propped up. That will work. But two things that actually require concentration, such as listening to that podcast and answering the emails, you can't. You will either end up typing the words of the podcast. I have done that. This is not me trying to make stuff up. I've literally done that. I've tried to listen to something while quickly answering an email, and I found myself writing the words I'm hearing. Because our brains don't do that. They don't concentrate on two things at once. If you don't believe me, do some Google research. You will find that it's true. So don't multitask. If we multitask, it can take us up to 70% longer to get anything done. Productivity drops by up to 70%. And that's the same as if you were trying to do stuff while very drunk or on weed. And neither of those are very good for your productivity. So no more multitasking, people.
Yeah, wow. I'm a serial multitasker, and when I knew I was going to be speaking to you today, I was quite looking forward to it, because I'm somebody who believes that they could be more productive, but I don't need to be any more organized to be more productive. So I can just take everything in my flow and I can achieve everything I need to do because it'll all just happen. What would you say to me?
Do you believe in magic? Yeah. You don't need to be super organized to get everything done. That is true. So yes, you're right with that. But a certain degree of organization will help you get more done because you're less likely to lose stuff. You're less likely to look for that thing that you thought was there and then suddenly isn't, and other 500 things are on top of it, or end up double booking yourself, all that sort of stuff. I don't know if you do double book yourself. I don't know that. But it's a case of figuring out what works for you, what tricks and tweaks. It's sometimes just a case of tweaking stuff. The way you do it might be sort of taking you that way, and if you just nudge it a little bit, you end up going straight. And it's a lot like that with productivity. It often doesn't need huge changes, just little ones. And I'm somehow quite good at figuring that out with people, which is why I enjoy doing it so much, because it's sort of like, how did you know I just needed to do that thing? I don't know. Yeah. Magic. I don't know. But
so you've used the word organised there, Isi. What does that mean, and how can somebody be more organised? What type of things do you encourage people to do to be more organised?
One of the main things is try not to keep everything in your head, but write it down. That's usually a good first step. And that's a habit change. So you got to change your habits a little bit to make those changes. And because once you've got stuff written down, it's that much easier to then say, okay, I can see that those 5 things are all to do with receipts and accounts and all the mathsy stuff of the business. They can go over there, and I could do those tomorrow, because tomorrow is late in the day I speak to the accountant, and before that I could do all those things. And there you go, you already have a little group of something to do. And so on, and then there will be some marketing tasks you can figure out. But if it's all in your head in one big jumble, in one big ball of spaghetti, so to say, then it's much harder to be organized. Just start writing things down, because a lot of small business owners think they can keep it all in their head. And while the business is really small, they probably can. And then it grows, and then they're still trying to keep everything in their head. And that's when they get into muddles. So
yeah. So if you were going through this process of helping somebody get it out of the head, and then turning it into an actionable list of priorities, or however you would do it, because I'm conscious, I scroll through my phone and I've got that notes app, and in that notes app I've got list after list after list of things that I need to do, and then I've got a previous list of things that I've now created a new list, and some of those things are on the previous list and stuff like that. So I've gone through the process of trying to extract stuff out of my head and put it into a list, but it is a struggle at times to work through the list, or to get to the bottom of the list, or to achieve all of the things that I want to achieve, because I am easily distracted, and I've got all sorts of, I sit in the bath once a week, and all sorts of different excuses that happen. What should I be doing different, rather than, or what's the next step after getting it out of my head?
My first tip for you would be get it all on one list, and not have all the different lists that you all need to look through to see if there's anything you're missing, but put it all in one list. That's literally, that's my tip for you, particularly from what you've just said. And then as soon as you've done that, delete the other ones, because you don't then need them if you've got it all in one. And from that one, you can then logically break it down. Because if you've got it in 5 different lists, or 10, or however many you have, I haven't seen your phone, it sounds scary.
Yeah.
Then I would start there.
Yeah,
that would be my top tip for you. There you go. Free in the bath.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. And I guess then if I've got this one list, or do you, in fact, actually a different question, move it away just for myself for a second. If anybody has a list, do you encourage them to pick a particular task first thing in the morning, a particular number of tasks throughout a day, a particular time of day to do certain tasks? How should somebody structure their day to be more productive when they've got this list of tasks?
How long have you got?
Well, the bathwater, my fingers are getting a little wrinkly.
I was wondering when you'd get wrinkly. Yeah. Okay. How am I going to put this very quickly into a couple of sentences? It depends. You might have expected me to say that, but it does depend. I would not start. I mean, step one is always have one big brain dumpy type list. That's always step one. But then in the morning, don't go to that list. In the morning, go to a list that you've also created from that. I'll give you my process really quickly. So I have my brain dumpy list. I have that, and whenever something new crops up, it goes on the brain dumpy list. Unless, of course, I know that needs to be done tomorrow, then it goes on there. So at the beginning of the week, I go to my brain dump and go, okay, what do I need and want to get done this week, and take that out of the list. And that's realistically, not ideally if I had nothing else on, because we always have meetings and networking events and bath interviews and whatever else. My first one ever. I didn't know I was going to do that at one time in my life. And then in the morning of the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, or the night before, whatever type of planner you are. Some people prefer morning, some people prefer evening. Then you say, okay, what can I get done that day from the weekly list? 3 to 5 things, because more probably won't get done. Because we have those other meetings and commitments and client work we need to do and all that sort of stuff. And that's sort of roughly my process. So I break it down. I take the big list and then break it down.
Yeah. And was that 3 to 5 things a day or 3 to 5 things a week?
A day.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever fits in around the existing commitments, with a bit of a gap as well, because you never know. The internet might break down and you can't do anything. So you need to put in a buffer zone, or somebody comes to the door and holds you up because it's important, or whatever. You get an emergency phone call from school, or I don't know. Something can always happen. You never know. Build in a bit of a buffer. That's always a good idea.
And when I've got this list and I'm trying to pick the things that I need to do, should I just pick anything willy-nilly, or is there a particular question that you ask to kind of cut through it to help me understand what my priority 3 or 5 things are? Or is it just that
depends on what you need to get done, what's important to you, what has come up as a bit more urgent to do. That depends on what you need to do. There is no hard and fast rule to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, thank you so much. Really, really helpful. I mean, I've gotten a lot so far from this conversation. And if people wanted to know more about you, maybe ask some advice and help, or from a personal productivity coach, where would they go? What would they do? What would they find?
Well, I am on LinkedIn, so definitely knock on my LinkedIn door and connect with me and follow my stuff, because I post things like tips and blog posts I've written about topics, all sorts of stuff like that. I have a website, Isi Dixon, same spelling as my name down here, isidixon.com. I was so lucky when I got that domain. I was very happy. isidixon.com. It sounds kind of cool. And like I say, either one-to-one training, or if it's a whole team that needs help, I do workshops as well, and speaking engagements, whatever there is need, I will happily do around productivity. It's my favorite topic.
Yeah, no, it is that comes across, and I think that your human approach to it as well, and recognizing that everybody's different. You've not got a one size fits all. It's about understanding where the benefit is for the people that are in front of you. I love that. I love that. One final question for you, sir. Do you always bath in a dressing gown?
Not always. That usually comes on once I've sort of started to dry off a bit, and once the water's getting a bit cold, then I'll put the big fluffy towel around my shoulders.
Yeah, perfect. Love that. Love that. That's an additional piece of advice that I've just got, because the water has started to get a little bit cold and my fingers have just started to get a little bit wrinkly. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time and joining me at the Tap End today. It's been an absolute pleasure. So just one more time, where can people find out more about you?
The website is isidixon.com, or join me on LinkedIn. And thank you so much for having me, Lee. It's been a blast.
No, absolute pleasure. Thanks very much, Izzy. You enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Bye.